In this episode of Eagle Talk, we recap the finals of the Section 5 basketball tournament. We got Caledonia Mumford, Greece Odyssey, Pittsford Sutherland, East, Greece Athena, Pittsford Mendon, and UPrep McQuaid. Some of these teams walked away with hardware.
Plus, we even talked cheerleading. Section 5 performed well at the state championships this weekend. Find out who won it all representing the local area right after this.
We're the Greece Athena cheerleaders and you're watching Talent Sports! Woo!
Welcome to this Blue Cross Roundup edition of Eagle Talk. I am Ben Vahey, and with me is Jonathan Goehring. We have a jam-packed show for you. Section 5 basketball. We didn't forget Brockport. We also got Amherst RIT all coming up. But this is the big thing we got today. Section 5 taking over the Blue Cross Arena. The Blue Cross Arena is home to the Rochester Americans, Rochester Nighthawks, and other events like concerts. But this weekend, as I just said, Section 5 basketball took it over.
But before the finals began this weekend, the semifinals for Class AA took place there last Wednesday. So let's head to the big house to check it out. Tuesday night in Class AA, the number 8 seed UPrep looking to upset Fairport after upsetting top-seeded Hilton to get to Blue Cross. Second half, Fairport gets going here. Brett Henninger drains the three-pointer from outside the arc, but the Raiders give it up here to the Griffins. Nazay Folks steals it and goes coast to coast with the layup. UPrep up by 11. Look at him go and finish here at the rim. And then it's Christian Jefferson hitting the three-pointer from the corner. UPrep pulls off another upset, their second in a row, defeating Fairport 54-43, the final.
In the Class AA 2 versus 3 seed matchup Tuesday at Blue Cross Arena, McQuaid taking on Gates Chili. Gates just getting in after missing it by one game last year. McQuaid, though, is off to a hot start. Kobe Long drains the wide open three. Knights get this thing going. Gates Chili, though, they're not giving up. Keith Slack with an NBA-style three here. Slack had 47 points for the Spartans, but McQuaid is moving on as they hold off Gates Chili 82-75, the final. Now we head to the championship rounds that occurred Friday and Saturday. In the Class C3 title game Friday night at Blue Cross Arena, the top seed Caledonia Mumford take on the number 3 seeded York. As soon as we tip off, the Raiders get on the board. Vinny Molisani with the three-pointer to kick this thing off. Cal Mum up 3-0. Molisani is not done yet. Second quarter now, Vin dribbles the ball through the paint for the layup and is fouled for the and one. Cal Mum up by 8. Molisani had 20 points for the Raiders. York, though, showing their signs of life. Matthew McFarland somehow finds his way through and count the bucket and the foul. McFarland led the way for York with 18 points. But Caledonia Mumford was just too much for York to handle. The Raiders are the 2019 Class C3 champion, beating York 57-46 the final. Molisani shared his thoughts on Cal Mum's title.
Feels great. We practiced really hard for this. We worked all year for it, and we're just happy to do it. I couldn't do it if it wasn't for my team.
In the Class B1 final Saturday morning at the Blue Cross Arena, the number 1 seed Greece Odyssey taking on number 2 seed Newark. First quarter, Newark's Kyle Martinez is blocked by Odyssey's Preston Mathis. Wow, what a block! Leopards have a 7-point lead. And as the quarter winds down, Jaden Hartsfield knocks down the three, I should say. Hartsfield had 12 points for Odyssey, and then it was Romel Griffin with the bucket, plus the foul. The Greece Odyssey Leopards roll past Newark, 69-40. Odyssey wins the Class B1 title.
In the Class A2 final, number 6 seed Pittsford Sutherland taking on the top seed East. The Knights looking to upset the Eagles. We head straight to the fourth quarter, Sutherland up by 4. John Luther drills the deep three. Knights up by 7 over the top seed, 47-40. The number 1 seed East looking to stay alive. Chaz Washington going coast to coast, dishing it off to Maurice Coney for the one-handed layup. Eagles back to within 5. Sutherland responds, though, on the other end. Ben DiGiovanni with the layup inside the paint. Sutherland looking good so far to pull off the upset. But on the other end, Washington, here, he shoots the bucket, and he gets fouled going for the layup. East back coming in the game, down within 4. But the final seconds now, Eagles trying to make a 3 to tie the game, but hey, it's no good. That's it, game over. Sutherland, they knock off the top seed East to claim the Class A2 crown, 53-49, the final. What a classic this game was, as Sutherland is keeping their Cinderella season alive and moving on to regionals.
In the Class A1 final, the other Pittsford team, the Pittsford Mendon Vikings, taking on the Greece Athena Trojans. Mendon looking to stay undefeated. The Vikings get rolling in the first quarter. Jacob Shatters drills the three-pointer from beyond the arc. Mendon already up by 17. Shatters isn't done yet. Here he takes the pass from Dan Cook and then shoots a deep 3 from NCAA range. Vikings up big 30-12. Mendon would be up by 15 points at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Trojans looking to respond. Dan Cook is blocked by Athena, and then DeAndre Newsome picks it up and takes it coast to coast for the jumper. But Mendon was just too much for Athena as the Vikings improved to 24-0 on the season, winning the Class A1 crown, taking down the Trojans 95-67, the final.
In the final game of the Blue Cross tournament, UPrep and McQuaid battled it out for the Class AA championship Saturday night. McQuaid looking to avoid being upset by the Griffins. First quarter, Knights down just 1, but Jermaine Taggart drains the 3 from the corner. McQuaid up by 2. UPrep looking to try and pull off another upset though. Ja'Kai Lucas with the step back 3. Griffins, they go up by 2 after the first quarter. But in the second quarter, the Knights aren't going to be the third team upset by UPrep. Kobe Long with the jumper. McQuaid, they go on to win 81-75 to claim another Class AA title. So John, bunch of games. Wow, the Blue Cross tournament, great time of year. What did you think? You and I were both there. What did we see?
A lot to dissect from those games. Really impressed with some of these teams coming away with victories, especially the 2 Pittsford teams, Sutherland, their Cinderella run, and Mendon just put on an offensive clinic in their win over Greece Athena.
I know. You're probably not too happy about that because you're an Athena grad. But
no, but you know what? Still very impressed by Pittsford Mendon.
I know, but I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with Sutherland upsetting East. That was like one of the thriller games of the night. I couldn't believe that. East was the top seed, projected to go far, and Sutherland, wow, I couldn't believe what they would see.
And now it's not over for these teams as they move on to the regionals. And we're looking forward to those games as well.
Oh, yeah, they're not done yet, but hey, you got something else to talk about. What happens when you go to a basketball game? Is there something on the sidelines?
That's right. Well, whenever you go to a football or basketball game, there's another sport nearby that doesn't always get as much attention, and that is cheerleading. On Saturday, the New York State Cheerleading Championships were held at RIT. Section 5 has swept the state competition the last 2 years, winning 10 championships. This year, they had 8 teams advance to the final rounds, including Hilton, who made their first appearance at the tournament in school history. The Cadets finished 4th in Division I large behind second place Victor. Churchville, Chilai, and Spencerport both represented Section 5 in Division I small. The Rangers took second place with a score of 87.08. Fairport competed in the co-ed division for the first time, finishing in 3rd place. Webster Thomas was crowned the state champion in the co-ed division with a score of 93, the second highest score of the competition. The Titans were the lone Section 5 team to win a state title this year.
Yeah, so what can you tell us about that, John? That's pretty interesting. I've gone to basketball games, football games. I've seen them on the sidelines, but to give them this attention, that's pretty good to see.
Well, they're truly talented, not just at these other sporting events that we normally report on, but even in their competitions. You see so many teams all across Section 5, Hilton, Webster Thomas, Fairport, Victor. Just watching what they're able to do physically is just amazingly impressive to me.
I'm impressed with those cheerleaders to see what they can put on outside on the field.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, it must go through a lot of work and training in that, so that's pretty good to see.
For sure.
Yep. Well, we're not done with champions yet crowning because, well, champions were not only crowned on the hardwood and on the cheering floor, they were also crowned on the ice. We head back down to RIT for a hockey thriller with Webster Thomas and Spencerport. On the Class B sectional final for hockey at RIT Tuesday night, the number 1 seed Webster Thomas taking on the unbelievable number 2 seed Spencerport for the sectional title. Second period, Thomas up 1, make it 2. Spencer Nucitelli with the slap shot, Titans up 2-0. Later in the period, the mighty Titans show why they are the top seed. Cade Spencer beats Spencerport goalie Richard Brace with the one-timer. Titans up 3-0. Spencerport would turn on the Jets to start the third period, though. Luke Fidelli somehow beats Cody Ragu to get the Rangers on the board. Spencerport trails by 2. But the Rangers get rolling here, and as I said, they'd get rolling. How come? Because you'll see right here, A.J. Gianavola with the wrist shot. Those Rangers, yeah, they aren't giving up just yet. But the Titans, they aren't going to let Spencerport pull off the upset. Zach Wolf with the unbelievable moves to score for the Titans. Wow, what a goal. Webster Thomas goes on to defeat Spencerport for the Class B crown, 5-2, the final.
This is our 4th try in a row, and we finally got this one, so we're 3 that we were short, but every year is different. Just proud of my guys. They took ownership of each other. They held each other accountable throughout the year. And, we've been playing some good hockey in the second half, and we continued here in the playoffs. And, we were strong in our quarterfinal game and our semifinal game, and tonight we played a pretty good game. Hats off to Spencerport. They played really well, and it was a good, tough battle. So we just were able to hold on, and we bent a little bit, but we never broke.
So excited. We can't wait to go up to North Country and play the guys. And we're just really excited.
Come such a long way after these coming years that we had. We were able to get over like 18 wins or something, which is fantastic. And we've just come such a long way from the beginning of the season. None of us thought that we would be in a sectional final, down 1 goal after the first period. And from there, we just kind of kept it positive, and we tried to do what's right for the team. But overall, we just felt like this is just an honor just to even be here.
In regional hockey action out in Syracuse at the Meacham Ice Rink, Pittsford taking on Section 3's Syracuse Cougars. First period, Cougars get on the board. Ryan Duran takes the pass and beats the Panthers goalie. Syracuse up 1-0. Later in the period, Nathan Fry with the wrist shot into the wide open net. Syracuse up 2-0. Pittsford, though, they're not giving up yet. Second period, senior Zach Quinton knocks one in to get the Panthers on the board, but that is all that they would get as Pittsford's season comes to an end in regionals as they fall to Syracuse 2-1 the final. Syracuse will play Section 6's Orchard Park in Buffalo next Saturday for the state semifinals.
All right, one other thing I got to mention as well, you saw Thomas beat Spencerport there. They also beat Norfolk 4-1 over the weekend in regionals, so they will head to Buffalo this weekend to play in the semifinals. So, John, what can you say so far about these local teams in the hockey rink? Spencerport, Cinderella run all the way. They couldn't beat Thomas, but hey, Thomas, they're awesome too. Number 1 seed going far. What can we say?
Yeah, well, even though Spencerport lost, certainly you can't shed enough light on how incredible their Cinderella run was this season, coming from last place last season all the way up to the 2nd seed this season. But yeah, Webster Thomas, too much for them, and I don't think they're done yet. I think Webster Thomas has a chance to go all the way, but we'll see what happens.
Yep, they're playing in the semifinals this Saturday in Buffalo, and if they win, they would play for the championship next Sunday, also at the Harbor Center in Buffalo. So we'll see how it's going to go. That's going to be really fun.
Looking forward to those games. Now we move on to college sports. Some Brockport Golden Eagles sports teams are sending some winter athletes to the NCAA Division III championships.
That's right, John. 2 of Brockport's divers. Divers, huh?
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, they're heading to the NCAA championships. On the women's side, Lauren Sayers competed over the weekend in the Region 4 diving finals in Rochester, scoring a 7th place finish of 423.95. That secured a spot for Sayers in the NCAA Division III championships. And on the men's side, Matthew Merchant, he finished the day in 4th place with a score of 481.90, sending him off to the championships as well. Both Merchant and Sayers, they're heading to Greensboro, North Carolina on March 20th to compete against the best divers in Division III. It may seem hard to believe with this weather outside, but the Brockport Spring Sports, they're already here.
I find it so hard to believe you, Ben, but you're right.
I can't believe it, John. All this snow, how could they be here?
That's right. Women's lacrosse defeated Nazareth Saturday 13-7 at home. Chloe Kirst led the Golden Eagles with 4 goals, and on the men's side, The men just couldn't get past the North Country powerhouse Clarkson University as they fell to the Golden Knights 14-6. However, Billy Capola did lead the way for the Golden Eagles with a hat trick. He netted 3 goals. The Brockport men are back in action this Saturday when they host Cayuga at 1 o'clock, and the women are back in action on Wednesday when they host RIT at 4 o'clock. And baseball is also in action this weekend as they dropped a doubleheader to Bard College on Sunday, losing the first game 4-3 and the second game 10-5. The Golden Eagles moved to 3-3 on the year with the losses and travel to New England next weekend, heading to Hartford, Connecticut to take on Southern Maine and then Trinity College. Both games are set for Sunday, March the 10th. So, Ben, we got spring sports underway. As we already said, we can't believe it. But here they are, and the lacrosse and baseball teams, not great starts, but they have a lot of season to make it up.
We'll have to see how they do. I know the men's lacrosse team, they went okay last year. I don't know how well they did. But I know the women, they went pretty far. They said they lost in SUNYX to Cortland, as I expected. But this year, there's a couple two-sport athletes playing on the women's lacrosse team that'll be good to keep an eye out for. Emma Nevers, who also plays on the women's soccer team here, who was also that fill-in goalie that one time. She's on the lacrosse team this year. And also Morgan Elmer, who was also on the women's basketball team here. She's a goalie on the women's lacrosse team. So that's going to be good to keep an eye out. Some two-sport athletes we have here at Brockport. And we'll also have to see for baseball and softball how they're going to do. So
yeah, a true talent there with the two-sport athletes, and looking forward to baseball, hopefully getting it going this weekend.
Yeah, we'll check it out. So we'll keep you covered. I know we haven't gotten to them yet, but don't worry. They're on our list. We'll be there at some point, Brockport. So now we go from Division III to Division I in college. RIT Hockey clinched a first-round bye in the Atlantic Hockey Tournament. But can they clinch home ice advantage in the second round? The Tigers welcomed in three-way rival Canisius for a regular season finale Saturday night, also their senior night. First period, no score, but Canisius starts it off. Matt Hoover beats Logan Drackett. Griffins up 1-0. But RIT would come back 2 periods later in the third. Eric Brown with the backhand into the corner of the net, beating Matt Ladd. Game all tied up 1-1. But with under 6 minutes to go, Canisius on the power play, and Felix Chamberlain puts it away. RIT falls to Canisius on senior day, 2-1 the final. The Tigers cannot clinch that home ice advantage, so they will travel to Sacred Heart for the second round of the Atlantic Hockey Tournament, March 15th through the 17th. Well, hey, great season for RIT so far. They couldn't get that first round bye, John, but how do you feel if they've been playing this year?
I think they've been playing very well, and I'm really impressed with how they've improved over the season. At first, they were a little shaky. We were wondering if they were going to be able to make it back to the playoffs or not, but here they are, and we'll see how far they go from here. Looking forward to it.
Yep, well, they have to play Sacred Heart. Last year, that was a team that knocked them out in the first round at home at the Gene Policini Center. This year, they have to go to Sacred Heart in Connecticut, so they don't have the home field advantage. They do have the bye. They don't have to play next week, but if they were able to make it out of Sacred Heart and go further on, the tournament will be at the Harbor Center in Buffalo. So if they can make it to Buffalo, they'll have a good fan base supporting them.
Yep, and we'll keep an eye on it. But now we're going to finish it off with professional sports. The Rochester Americans completing a home-and-home series with the Syracuse Crunch on Sunday. The Amerks took Game 1 out in Syracuse 5-3 on Saturday. And now that there's no more basketball at Blue Cross Arena, the ice returns for the Amerks. Rochester looking to sweep the series as they return to the Blue Cross Arena to take on the Crunch. But the Crunch strike first in the first period. Andy Andreoff with the one-timer past Scott Wedgwood. Syracuse up 1-0. Second period, Rochester responds. Alex Nylander with the slap shot past the Syracuse goalie. Game all tied up 1-1. But the Crunch, they get their revenge later in the period. Alex Barabule takes the pass and gets it past Wedgwood. The Amerks get crunched by Syracuse 4-1, the final. The Amerks back in action on Friday when they host Bridgeport.
They got crunched.
They sure did in the second game, but at least they were able to go to Syracuse and get that first game, and they split that home-and-home series.
Yeah, and currently the Crunch and the Amerks, top 2 teams right now battling for first place, with Rochester still in first place. This could potentially be a first-round playoff matchup as it was last year. Well, last year it was a tight series. Syracuse swept them out, though, 3-0. The Amerks, they're showing some signs of life. This is going to be a potential first-round playoff series. We'll see what happens, who gets the home field advantage in the first round. We never know, but this is potentially the first-round matchup. That could be in a month, so we will have to keep an eye out for it.
Can they win their first playoff series since 2004? Yeah, that would be huge. We'll see.
Yeah, and with these teams only separated by an hour down the thruway, there's a fan base that could be traveling in both directions.
It's going to be a great rivalry.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Well, that is all the time we have for Eagle Talk, but as always, for your local sports action in Brockport, Section 5, Amherst, RIT, stay with us. We're always going to have you covered. Until next time, I'm Ben Vahey.
And I'm John Goehring. Thanks for watching.
That's on block.